This woman used to bully me. She used to bully other workers. And really, I really felt like it was uncalled for and I had to say something. What's happening, everybody on YouTube? Steve here with Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com. Coming back to you guys with another video as I run down the stairs to get some groceries out of my car. But anyways, guys, I want to talk to you guys about two things. First is a story. And this story is about a woman that I knew about 8 years ago when I was working at Stop & Shop. And number two, I want to show you guys some of the books that I just popped on spontaneously at a book sale. It was actually at my library, but I wasn't even planning to go to a book sale. So anyways, let's start with the first story. So about, what was it, probably 8-9 years ago, when I'm 29 now, so yeah, about 8 or 9 years ago, I was working at a grocery store called Stop & Shop, and I used to work in the seafood department, and across from the seafood department was the meat deli. There was this one woman there who would always be complaining. She was actually a manager of the department, and she was always complaining, she was always whining, she was always yelling at everybody, and she was just always so unhappy. She always had a little sourpuss face on her. And I remember one time specifically, when I was working in the seafood department, it was super slow. I did all my side work, I did everything, and I mean, there was nothing for me to really be doing. So I pulled out a book, it was a Tony Robbins book, and I was just sitting in the corner reading. And I remember one time specifically, she came over and she was just like, "What are you doing?" She like screamed at me, and she wasn't even in charge of me, and she went over to my manager, told on me, got me all in trouble. And like, that was just one example, but she was always just so unhappy. She was always bitching, whining, complaining. Anyways, I think you get my point. So today I went over to Stop & Shop to pick up some groceries because I just got home from Austin, Texas, from the Green Room event. And guess what? I go to check out, and she's working at the register. She is working at the register, and guess what's happening? She's bitching, she's whining, she's complaining. She's going on this whole long-winded rant to the girl who's bagging. The girl who's bagging is probably like, I don't know, 17 years old. She's going on this long-winded rant about how she should be able to drink soda or have a drink when she's on the cash register or something. I don't even know. But she just like has that same face again. And I'm like, oh man, my blood's starting to boil. I'm like, I really want to say something, because back then when I used to work with her, I was dead broke. I never stood up for myself. I needed the money. But guess what? 8 years later, she's still bitching and still whining. So I said, "Excuse me." And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Do you remember me?" And she says, "No, who are you?" And I said, "I used to work in the seafood department. It looks like things haven't changed. 8 years later, and you're still whining, you're still complaining." I said, "Why do you work here if you're so unhappy?" And you should have seen her face. Her face literally dropped. She had nothing to say. I said, "Why do you still work here if you still complain?" Anyways, to make a long story short, this woman, and I'm sure she's a nice woman, but this woman's been working at the same job, complaining and whining and fighting and arguing for 8 years. For 8 years, and she's still doing the same thing over and over again. And really, the lesson to be learned here is, you know what, if you're unhappy, if you're not happy with how things are, whether it's employees that are under you, or if you're the employer or the manager, do something different. Change your work, create a skill, learn something new, move on. And you want to know what? It's still 8 years later, and she's still doing the same thing over and over again. So I know it was kind of a dick move on my part to say that, and to be honest, I was a little bit rude to her, but I was just angry, because you want to know what? I was a young kid. This woman used to bully me. She used to bully other workers, and really, I really felt like it was uncalled for, and I had to say something. So let me know in the comments section, guys, if this was you, if you were, 16 or 17 or 18, whatever I was, and 8-10 years later you ran into somebody who was doing this to you and is doing the same thing over and over again, would you say something? So anyways, I hope maybe this got her thinking a little bit when I said it. I really didn't want to hurt her feelings. I just had to say it and just get it off of my chest. So I just want to share that story with you for whatever it's worth. Anyways, I want to show you some books that I found. Let's see if I could pull them out of my car. So literally, I was going to the library. So I picked up about 25 to 30 books. at this book sale, and I didn't even know what was going on, but they had a book sale in there, and I walked in and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna just scan a few things to see what I could find, and found like 25 or 30 books. So one thing I want to say is you never know where there's an opportunity to make money, whether it's a book sale or even a bike shop. I remember going into a bike shop with the Bonafide Hustler and the College Picker a couple days ago, and they went in just to get a piece for Eric's bike, and Bonafide ended up buying a bunch of Thule bike racks and I don't know, a bunch of crazy little things. And he said he's gonna make about, I think, 500 or 1,000 bucks. So keep your eyes open. Also, at this book sale, they had a whole free section. And a lot of people just pass on the free books. They say to themselves, oh, you know, people probably already scanned them. You know, there's no money in there. And I thought that too for a second, but I scanned them and found a bunch of good ones. Actually, one of them was selling for $194. It was a free book. Had a 919,000 rank and only 3 reviews. And it might be a little outdated, but I don't know. I got to do some more research, so that might be a jackpot. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the story. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing some of the books that I picked up. Some of the best books I got today were some books on sailing. Let me show you one real quick before I end this vlog. This one right here. Had a bunch of crazy books, like 100 small boat rigs. Where's the other ones? Let me pull, like historic ship models. There was a bunch of books that I got on like boats and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'm losing my voice. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Keep on picking and making that money. And don't be that person who stays the same for 8 years straight. If you're unhappy, if you're unhappy. If you like it, nothing wrong with it. Anyways, see ya. Bye.